I think I sound better and look better if everybody else drinks, so please enjoy. So good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Ron, the best man, and one of Jeff's oldest friends. We've been friends for over 2 decades. Over 2 decades now that we've been friends. And he's really the best friend a guy could ask for. I love him like another brother. He was there by my side about 10 years ago when I got married, and I really couldn't be prouder than to be by his side today. Although, just promise me in the future, when we get together in the winter, we'll be in Florida, Texas. Okay? We'll save the New York City get-togethers for the summer. And I left Florida on Wednesday, it was 79 and sunny. So, anyway, first off, on behalf of Jeff and Nancy and both of their families, I want to thank everybody for coming together today for this special day and celebration. We have people who've come here from both near and far, including Texas, Florida, Singapore, and some who even journeyed from that far-off exotic land called Staten Island to be here. So as I mentioned, I've known Jeff for what seems like forever, 22 years, and which is more than half of my life. And I still remember the first time I met him like it was yesterday, because he made quite the impression. I was in college. I went to a club with a friend of mine, and as we were walking around the dance floor, I see this guy going totally buck wild on the dance floor. So as it turns out, that dancing fool was Jeff. And my friend who I was with told me that he actually knew Jeff from his days playing basketball at the Chinatown Rockets. And he also told me that, oh, that guy used to be a pretty good ball player, but then he started partying and putting on all this extra weight. I like to say he was working on his low post game. So. But anyways, over the years, we've been through a lot together. Mostly great times, hilarious memories, sprinkled in with a few rough spots that we helped each other through. But what I've seen time and time again is what a really, really great guy Jeff is. I mean, when you first meet him, right away you can tell he's a lot of fun, he's very laid back, he loves joking around, he always goes with the flow, But when you spend a little more time with him, you see that there's actually a lot more to him than meets the eye. Thank goodness, actually. Most of his friends know that he's an incredibly respectful and dutiful son. He helped out his parents in any way possible. As a friend, he's always been fiercely loyal, extremely generous and considerate. No task is too small or too big for him to help out with. When I moved from New York to Florida 8 years ago, he immediately offered to fly down to Florida just to help me with the move. And even though I didn't take him up on the offer, that was very, very touching to me. Really, the only flaw that I can find in the guy is that he cannot be on time for his life. Right? Amy? I'm actually very, very impressed that he made it today on time. But unfortunately now I owe Jimmy $20, so. But I know, he always tells me, I was on time for your wedding day, that was the most important thing. So thank you for that. But seriously, Nancy, I'm sure you realize what a great guy you're marrying, and I couldn't really be happy for the both of you. So, even though we've been friends for a really long time, I actually just met some of his other close friends about a month ago when we were in Vegas for his bachelor party. It was, a good time, really, really good bunch of guys, and everybody kind of echoed the same sentiments about Jeff. What was surprising to me, though, was how many of his longtime friends did not know about his famous nickname, right? What do we call him?
Catfish!
Catfish, yes. So, for those of you in the crowd that don't know that his nickname is Catfish, let me give you a little background, okay? So, supposedly, this started back in high school, okay, when he had like a whisker-like mustache. But, I mean, I met the guy way after he shaved that off. And the first thing I said to my friend who introduced us was like, dude, that guy looks like a cat. And my friend was like, that's his nickname. So I think it's a little bit more than just the whiskers, okay? So just out of curiosity, I did a little quick research online, okay? So according to Wikipedia, most catfish are nocturnal, okay? So when this guy was in his prime, he does not start his night until at least midnight, right? Second of all, At some point, catfish have inhabited every continent at one time or another. So this guy travels more than anybody I know. In terms of the anatomy of a catfish, they tend to have a heavy, bony head with a cylindrical body and a mouth that can expand to a large size. But because of a very keen sense of smell, the eyes are generally very small. So come on, it's not just the whiskers, okay? So, in all seriousness, I mean, catfish has to be one of like the all-time greatest nicknames, right? I mean, over the years, it's blessed me as well as his friends with endless joke material over the years, right? Apparently, when he used to go play in basketball tournaments, anytime he was shooting a free throw, his teammates would make meowing noises from the bench. Right? And when he was still living in New York, he would drive that famous black Acura Legend.
The catfish mobile.
So what did we call that? That was the fishmobile. At a party, he would go out on the dance floor, he was shaking his flippers, after which, of course, he would need a nice long cat nap. And then when he finally decided to leave New York for Texas, he was migrating south for warmer waters. So after all those years of shaking his flippers, when he finally met Nancy about 5 years ago, I couldn't be more thrilled for him. I mean, when he first told me about her, there was a happiness and excitement in his face and voice that I hadn't seen before. And there was a specific moment a few months after he met her that I knew that this was really somebody special. He said to me, he said, "Ron, I think I have to clean my apartment." True love will make bachelors do crazy things. And when I finally met Nancy, I mean, I saw how sweet and kind she was to Jeff, and that she also really brought out a lot of his best qualities. And just like Jeff, she really believes in the importance of family and close friends. And of course, I knew I was going to get along with her once I found out that, like me, she really loves to karaoke. So as you guys set out to begin this new chapter in your life together, I'd like to offer my congratulations, my blessings, of course, but also a little bit of advice in terms that Jeff can understand. So I'm sure you all know that Jeff is a huge sports fan. He's cheered very long and hard for all of his favorite New York teams. He's been fortunate enough actually to see a lot of his favorite teams win championships during his lifetime. The Yankees have won 5 World Series in 13 years. Yes, I know, us Mets fans have to look at that. The Giants have won 4 Super Bowls, and even his Syracuse Orangemen won a national championship in 2003 behind a freshman named Carmelo Anthony. But his favorite New York sports team is the Knicks, who have never won a championship during his lifetime. Their last championship was back in 1973, and there have been a lot of bad Knicks teams since that time. And there were times in recent years where we were really wondering if it was ever going to happen, kind of like with Jeff getting married. Today shows that you should never give up hope. Okay? When people look back at those championship Knicks teams, the thing that makes them legendary was their teamwork, right? I mean, they had some genuine all-stars, but they put aside any hint of ego, they put aside their personal goals and aspirations, and together they became greater than the sum of their parts. And to me, that's the key to marriage. You have to put aside, you have to make sacrifices, you have to put aside some of your own personal goals for the good of the team to achieve your common goal. Of course, like any season, there's going to be ups and downs, but if everybody buys into that idea in the big picture, you'll bring out the best in each other and be able to achieve something more amazing than either of you could do by yourself. Today, we see that the best things in life really are worth waiting for. So, if everyone would please raise your glasses and join me in a toast to the beautiful new bride and groom, Nancy and Jeff. We wish you both a lifetime of laughter, love, memories, and bringing out the best in each other. Cheers. I love you guys.